let's continue to discuss about handling workshop tools and power tools. At the end of this session, you will be able to identify pliers for specific purpose and handle them. Understand the use of specific spanners.
Tools and instruments required: a set of pliers, pullers, air compressor. Materials required: cotton waste as required, pipe as required, a steel wire as required. Pliers are commonly used for cutting wires, holding parts, crimping electrical connections, and bending cotter pins. Side cutting pliers. It is made with the jaws set at an angle. They are used for shearing off wires in confined spaces and cutting off wires close to the surface level. They are also used for spreading the cotter pin. External circlip pliers. External circlip pliers are used to fit and remove the external circlips in the grooves of the shaft. Now, let's know how to handle the plier. Pliers have a pair of legs joined by a pivot, hinge, or fulcrum pin. Each leg consists of a long handle and a short jaw. Select a component with lock wire to nut, which is to be removed. Let's use the combination plier flat grip to untwist the lock wire. The tips of the flat jaws on combination plier have cuts to help the general holding. The pipe grip has teeth on it to hold round things. Cutters are provided for cutting off soft wires, whereas two joint cutters are provided for cutting or shearing off steel wires. Handles are designed for applying pressure by hand. After untwisting, pull the lock wire from the nut completely. Now, using a proper size spanner, remove the nut. Identify the spanner based on the nut size. Select a brake pipeline to be removed from the junction. Hold the brake pipeline with pipe grip portion at combination plier. Now, remove the union nut using a proper double open-ended spanner. Now, select a 3 mm electric wire to be cut. Place the wire between joint cutters and press the handle to cut the wires. Now, select a steel wire to be cut. Place the steel wire in between side cutter and press the handle to cut the wire. Select a nut with tab washer that needs to be removed. To do this job, let us select flat nose plier. Nose plier is used to unfold the tab washer. Use a proper spanner to remove the nut. Select a cylindrical component with nut. For this, we will select slip joint pliers. These pliers are available in various range of positions with different shapes of pivot pins so that they have various range of jaw opening. Hold the cylindrical shaft with help of slip joint plier jaws. Remove the nuts with proper spanner. Select a wire to be trimmed. Place the end of the wire to be trimmed by end cutting plier in between the cutting ends and apply pressure on handles to cut the wire. Select the steel wire to be cut close to the component surface. Cut the steel wire by slip joint multi-grip plier by applying pressure on the handles. Use the cutting pliers to spread the cotter pin. Select a stud with lock nut, from which the lock nut has to be removed. We can use locking pliers to do this operation. The locking lever of the locking pliers is attached with a removal handle which clamps the jaws onto an object of any shape. Hold the stud by locking plier, adjusting the screw in the handle lock with lever. Use a proper spanner to remove the locking nut. Select a wire which has to be converted into loop. For looping any wire, we can use round nose pliers. Round nose pliers, this type of plier is made with tapered round shaped. They are used to shape loops in wires and then form curves in light metal strips. Now, hold any wire that needs to be looped between the jaws of the round nose plier. Form the loop by turning the round nose plier.
Let's summarize this session on handling workshop tools and power tools. Understand how to handle pliers for specific purpose, tightening, locking devices, and making flare joints and fittings. Understand how to use different types of pliers, selecting proper spanners.